Hello everybody. This is a first for me. It is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and it is about 90 degrees right now. And this is the first time I've ever done a video of a window unit. I have done videos that have window units in them before, but I've never really had much of an interest in window units. I've always done the central AC units and heat pumps. But this one's pretty cool. This is a 1964 Emerson Quiet Kool window air conditioner that I picked up on Facebook Marketplace for $50 about a year and a half ago. So November. I know it was after I decorated the truck for Christmas, so it was probably either right after Thanksgiving at the earliest or sometime in very early December, but it was definitely late 2024. And normally I obtain window units for free on Facebook Marketplace and scrap them, but this is too nice to scrap. 62 years old, and it runs better than pretty much anything you could buy new today. And it is cold. As far as I know, it still has the original charge of R22. And so it was in the basement of a townhouse in, I believe it was in Lansdale. It was somewhere in Montgomery County. And I looked up the address of the place where I got it. The person selling it on Facebook lived, and it was a townhouse, and it was built in 1981. So my theory, I believe they bought it from the original owner of the townhouse. I don't remember. They bought it, and this was in the basement. My theory is that whoever that was bought this new and put it in their house that did not have central air, because the house that this was in the basement of did have central air, the townhouse that was built in 1981. So my theory is that the people who bought this for their house that did not have central air just stashed it in the basement because their then new house did have central air and they didn't need it anymore. And when they sold the house, I mean, it could have gone through, changed hands a few times, and it was just forgotten in the basement. But so yeah, this thing, I took this apart right after I got it, and it was clean. Like this thing's cleaner than all of the newer non-functional units that I've scrapped that are like biohazards. Like, this thing was pristine. And I know it's a 1964 because I took a picture of the serial number stamp. I forget whether it was on the compressor or it was in here somewhere, but it confirmed that one of my buddies in the Facebook group I'm in confirmed that this is a 1964. And it's actually older, not much older, but it is older than I originally thought it was. I thought it was late 60s, early 70s. And like, this thing is clean, and once restored it will be worth $200 or $300, I'm told. I have the window divide, the little window thingies, solid aluminum. The things rotted out, like the little accordion things, and the filter rotted out, so I got to get a new one of those. It's not expensive, but yeah, I was gonna put this in my bedroom, but I need at least an 8,000 BTU in my bedroom, and this is a 6,000 BTU. So if I find a new one, an old one, 8,000 BTUs, I'll put it in my room. But right now I'm happy with my 2023 LG. I'm trying to get, there we go. With my LG 8,000 BTU from 2023 that gets the job done. Nowhere near the quality of this. And I thought that was a Pittsburgh Steelers logo. Built in America. And many people will be like, it's inefficient, it's bad for the environment. That's what I think of the green movement. This is my 2010 Toyota Tacoma, almost 230,000 miles. It was a present from my parents when I got my learner's permit. And with my lead foot and prolific air conditioning use, I'm lucky if I get 15 miles per gallon around town. But passes emissions. And then that is my new grill guard that I had put on the truck after a woman in a GMC Yukon missed her turn for a restaurant and reversed into me. $2,400 in damage. Luckily, she was both wealthy and honest and paid to fix everything out of pocket. And I paid for most of the grill with the money she gave me for damaging my bull bar. So I got $2,400 for damages to the truck, and that paid for most of the grill, and the rest was a combination of my tax refund and my and birthday money from my parents. So yeah, that is the ranch hand. But yeah, just this should give you an idea of what I think of putting efficiency before quality. That's what I think of sacrificing quality in the name of efficiency. Only you can prevent socialism. And the last time I made a video at my house, we still had the 2002 Chrysler PT Cruiser. And a bunch of people were asking about the Outlander. I'm not going to do a full video of the Outlander right now because it's trashed and my friend is helping me detail it. But this is the 2015 Mitsubishi. Is it focused? Yeah, it's focused. This is the 2015 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport that me and my girlfriend bought from the estate of our deceased friend Emily. And I mentioned this in the last video. I'm 37 years old now, and I can tell you that I have only had one truly traumatic experience. Tongue-tied there. Let me turn this off. These are all the features. Super cool, quiet cool, fan only, off. Turn that off for a little bit. And then I'll do a little video of the Goodmans just to do video filler. But so, I'm almost 40. And I've only had one. I was bullied in middle school, but nothing truly horrific has ever happened to me. And I can tell you that I've only had one truly traumatic thing happen to me in my whole life, and that was last May. My friend Emily, who was also my girlfriend Amanda's best friend. Get away from the lawnmower here. That one shut off. That was running earlier. That one's still running. My girlfriend and I found our friend Emily dead on May 3rd of last year. She died of a pulmonary embolism, and based we found her body. So, based on what I saw, it looked like she just lied down on the couch and went in her sleep. She was in her pajamas. But yeah, so we bought the Chrysler 8 days before Amanda bought the Chrysler. That was her money. Amanda bought the Chrysler 8 days before Emily passed away, and she actually, and those are the weather techs that my parents got us for the Outlander for Christmas. Amanda is obsessed with Lilo and Stitch, Experiment 626. Where was I? I keep getting sidetracked. Where was I? Having a brain fart here. Amanda last saw Emily alive the day before she bought the Chrysler, and then Emily died. Yeah, 8 days. 8 days. We bought it, the PT Cruiser, and late on the last Friday in April, and Emily passed, we believe, in the morning on Saturday, May 3rd of 2025. And we did not actually make contact with the body, but she was on the couch and the blinds were askew, and the lights were off when she passed, so the only light in the condo was coming from my truck light shining through the window. And I called 911. They sent a cop showed up, and the paramedic showed up. The paramedic, who was also a firefighter, kicked in the door. They turned on the lights, and as soon as the lights came on, I could tell that she was deceased. She was only 36 years old. It was a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot hitting your lung to the layperson. She did not drink, she did not smoke, she did not do drugs, but she was sedentary, she was overweight, and she had a shitty diet. And I'm proud to say that I've dropped like 25 pounds since she passed away, because the desire not to end up in the morgue before the age of 40 is a very strong one. I would love to die on the couch in my sleep peacefully, but give it about 40 or 50 years, and the other Goodman just kicked in. So going on to the Outlander. So we did not realize the PT Cruiser did not have ABS, anti-lock brakes. And this made the car very scary to drive at times in inclement weather. So we wanted the Outlander, but we didn't think we'd ever be able to get it at a price that we could pay cash for. I offered Emily's father $4,000 for it. And also that's the other thing. So the title was solely in Emily's name, so he had to get the death certificate and get an estate lawyer and do all this shit before he could legally sell the car. In the meantime, he drove it a little bit just to keep the juices flowing so it didn't just sit, but it basically sat for the better part of 6 months, and it needed a jump start when it was finally time to buy it. But so I offered him $4,000. It was worth like $7,000 or $8,000 at the time he offered it to us. $2,800. He's like, you can have it for $2,800. He even let me have it looked at by my mechanic. And all it needed to pass inspection was a rear windshield wiper. Passed inspection with flying colors. Everything in it works. The air conditioner is ice cold, and I'm not going to do a full video of it right now because it's very messy inside. My friend is helping me detail it. And of course, I ripped out the factory sound system and put in some new speakers. I did not do the head unit or the backup camera myself because this has factory steering wheel controls that my girlfriend wanted to keep, and I had that professionally installed. So now it has an OEM. It did not originally have a backup camera. Now it does. And the head unit that's in there now, I could not make heads or tails. I mean, installing a head unit in a base model Tacoma is way different than putting one in a Outlander. So I had a professional rig up the steering wheel controls and the backup camera. So yeah, and it's got just under 97,000 miles on it now, and we own it. No financing. Got the title in hand, clean title, and it's ours. I never ever would have. I was never a huge fan of newer Mitsubishis until we bought this thing. Amanda paid for $1,500 of it, and I paid $1,300. And it's even with the stereo system that I put in it, it is still worth way more than what we paid for it. And what have I had to do to it? It needed a wheel speed sensor, which, believe it or not, was causing the check engine light to come on. And 6-month-old stale gas didn't cause the check engine light to come on either. It ran a bit rough at first, but after we bought it, I ran premium 93 octane through it for a couple fill-ups and also did the STP injector cleaner, and now it runs like a top. Gets almost 30 miles per gallon. I mean, it's got like 148 horsepower at the block. I don't know what that translates to at the wheels, but this thing has some get up and go, and it gets 30 miles per gallon. The only disappointment is that it's not manual. It has a CVT, and it's front wheel drive. It's not an all-wheel drive, and the front wheel drive base model is the only one that was available with a manual transmission. Emily cannot drive a manual transmission. I can, and Amanda sorta can, but while she could do it in an emergency, she'd rather have an automatic, and because this was her best friend's car, she doesn't want to mess with it. She wants to leave it stock. I was like, if I hit the lottery and the CVT goes in this thing, I want to put a 5-speed in it. She's like, no, you are not messing with my car. And once it's cleaned out, I will do a much more in-depth video. And also, Emily's dad put like $3,500 worth of just common wear maintenance items into this vehicle in the last year and a half of Emily's life. And I got the Carfax reports to prove it. So we lucked out. Like, it needs nothing. We've given it 2 oil changes, a CVT flush, and some electrical work since we got it. And I mean, it runs like a champ. But yeah, that is our 2015 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Owned outright, just under 97,000 miles. Ice cold AC. And we love it. And that is my truck. And that is my window unit that's almost old enough to collect Social Security. Emerson Television and Radio. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Out.